Okay, while working as mechanic for Cooper Pontiac Cadillac, one of the mechanics that hired on was a young man who was pretty heavy at the time, so we called him Fats. It was kind of like Fats Domino, I guess. But he was a chain smoker. He worked with a cigarette in his mouth, and he had dodged the smoke while he was working on a carburetor or whatever. And one day I got kind of tired of it. Anytime I take a coffee break, well, he'd stop and come over and take a coffee break too, and sit and smoke and just blow smoke at me. Finally, one day I got enough, and I said, Fats, tell you what I'll do. I said, if I can smoke a cigarette from lighting it up to putting it out in half the time you do, would you stop smoking for a day? Excuse me. He said, sure, I'd like to see that. And so, of course, people started gathering around, and he started yelling, Tony's going to smoke a cigarette. And so he lit up on, they timed him, and he was really puffing it and getting it pulled down. And it did it like, I don't know, I remember about 2 minutes. He was really drawing it in. And he said, okay. I said, all right, first let's go back here to by the wash rack. And we had a welding cart. And I turned on the oxygen and let it run for a little bit, making sure it's cleared out. I said, all right, y'all get a cigarette, ready to light it. And I said, go ahead and light it. And they lit it up, just holding it. I filled my mouth and lungs with oxygen, put the cigarette in my mouth, and blew. That cigarette just flared up like a flare. And I had to just throw it down because about 10 seconds, it was gone from a full cigarette to a nub. And so he, it's cheating. You didn't tell me about oxygen. I said, if I smoke one up before you do. Well, okay. So he went the rest of the afternoon without smoking, but by the time he got quitting time, he was a nervous fit. And so I let him off, and he went and had a cigarette. So, but it did cut down on his smoking around me, especially. So that was the Fats cigarette story.